Stephen Olyniuk with Remax Performance Realty, and today we are out in Steinbach, Manitoba at Lakeview Insurance, and we are with broker owner, if I'm correct in saying that, Rob Taves. And something that has come up, and I'm seeing it a lot when we sell a house, where the purchasing realtor has been contacting us, asking us lots of questions about what the house has and what it doesn't have. And if there's been no home inspection done or anything like that, then there's no real information there, and then they're going off of what I say. So then that puts me in a little bit of a liability of where I'm at. What we've been doing for our buyers is we have created a list of, as we're going through the house, and it's one that they're going to be putting an offer on, we're making notes of what it has. And I'm going to ask you, Rob, what should people be looking for? What type of information are you guys going to need to properly get an insurance policy for somebody that purchases a new house?
Yeah, it's probably the biggest pieces of information that we need has to do with updates to homes. Now, homes built that are fairly new construction, anything I would say 1990 and newer, usually are not too big of an issue, right? But especially in areas of Winnipeg where you see pre-1900 homes, Winnipeg was built in certain stages, right? You've got some homes early 1900s, and you got post-war 1945, and then 1970s there was another boom. So in those different eras, you have, in the 1900 homes, you have things like knob and tube wiring, right? And we see, you don't see that too much here in Steinbach. We don't have too many homes, in that age group, but certainly we have lots of 1970s homes, right, with things like aluminum wiring. Yep. So, that's another question, for us. Anytime we have an early 1970s type home, is there aluminum wiring in that home? So the big issue, or not issue, but the information we need is all around updates to things like plumbing, things like electrical, heating, roof, the ages, and it's a hard one, I know, for you, because I know, like, sometimes you'll have a house that's changed hands a number of times, and people don't necessarily know, when certain updates are done. But we are having some insurance companies are now asking us or requiring that electrical inspections happen in some of these homes, and so those are things we try and make people aware of when buying certainly older homes, right? That I think there is a sense that in our industry more companies will be asking for certainly electrical inspections on older homes. So
okay.
Yeah.
So probably something that has that aluminum wiring is definitely going to want an electrical inspection or something along that line.
For sure, yeah. Knob and tube aluminum wiring. On the plumbing side, galvanized plumbing is an area of concern for insurance companies. So, but I think what we're seeing nowadays is most homes have had updates. It seems rare now that we see a house that hasn't had some sort of update, right? That can also bring in some other challenges, in that if you have things like aluminum wiring, and then somebody decided to do a basement renovation at some point and tie copper in with the aluminum, right? And if that's not done correctly, now you've got other problems, right? Yeah, but the point being, it seems pretty rare now that most homes haven't had some kind of update to them. I think when it comes time to selling houses now, certainly I think you're seeing people realize that, hey, in order for me to sell this house, I have to have an update. Like, I have to have the wiring completely redone, right? And so I think we're starting to see more of that.
Okay, great. I see you guys have put together a buying a new home brochure, and that probably goes through some of the issues on there, or that you need?
Exactly. Yeah, we have things here, like another big question people have is, wood stoves, fireplaces, any type of wood heat in the house. Fireplaces, no problem, it seems like, but anything with a wood stove, where insurance companies typically look at that as an auxiliary type of heat source, then we need certain information about that. So.
And usually a wet test comes into play, I'm guessing, or not always?
Yes. I mean, if you can get a wet inspection done, that certainly helps your cause. Anytime your broker needs to move you to another insurance company, or it certainly helps them do that, because you've had somebody in there to look at the stove and see how that stove was installed, right? But we often, I'll go into pre-COVID at least, I would go into people's homes and do what we call a wood heat questionnaire, and
Okay.
I'll fill that information out. Basically, I look at the back of the stove and I see, okay, I can see the installation requirements, and then I'll write those down, take some measurements to see that the stove was installed to those specifications, and we're usually good from there. But some companies are asking for wet inspections.
Okay. Yeah, you're one of the few that I hear talk that actually go out and do those type of things, and it's a great service to provide for your clients.
Yeah, I've done lots of them. They give me a little, I think when a client gets, the form, they look at it and it's like, I don't even know where to begin, right? So over the years, I've become pretty good at filling those things out. And certainly where we do business here in Steinbach, we have lots of rural type homes, right? Where, I'll be honest, I think wood stoves, it seems like they're making a comeback. So we're seeing more of them nowadays, and I would say even 5-10 years ago, more people are putting them in, and now they've come so far with the way that they're built, right? They're far more efficient than they've ever been. So yeah.
Funny you say that. We're talking about an addition in our house, and that is one of the things that will be going in.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to do a wood stove or an insert type fireplace yet. That's been up for debate yet, but it's on the list.
Well, if you are making the decision between the two, zero clearance fireplaces, which do act similar to wood stoves, and I think that they give off some auxiliary heat, right? Whereas your old standard fireplace, I think, was more aesthetic in the sense I don't think it gives off a ton of heat, right? The old brick mantle type style, right? Those ones are more aesthetic, and it's interesting. The insurance companies do not surcharge your policy for having a fireplace, but they do for a wood stove.
Okay.
Right? So in a zero, we're seeing a lot of people go to these zero clearance fireplaces. They give off a ton of heat, but no surcharge with most companies. So that's something to think about. Yeah.
Great advice. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to attach their brochure to the comments. The comments are the information below this video, and it'll give you a good idea of the questions you should be asking, so that you have all the information when you are purchasing a home. Home sale can be stressful enough, but it's even worse when you don't have all the right information, and then you're left wondering. Is there anything else that you would recommend for a home purchaser that on there? We've gone through it. It was plumbing, heating, the electrical, the age of the roof.
Yeah, there's one other big one, and that has to do with a sump pump and backwater valves when it comes to water coverages. To get certain types of water coverage, you do need a backwater valve in place. Again, you see them on some older homes where they don't have, right, because that was not building code back in obviously the 80s and prior probably. I don't know exactly when it became code, but so it's important to know whether or not there's a sump pump and pit in the home as well as a backwater valve. It could certainly make a difference in what type of coverage you get and how much coverage you can have. So
great. Now, do you guys just service Steinbach, or do you service everywhere in Manitoba for insurance?
We service everywhere. We have that's kind of one of the things when I started out. I was more on the farm side, so we have pockets of clients. I have clients north of Dauphin. I have clients on the Saskatchewan border. We service all over Winnipeg, and as well as here in southeastern Manitoba. So yeah, we're pretty mobile.
Awesome.
Pretty much anywhere here in Manitoba, we can make happen. So
great. Perfect. I want to thank you for today, Rob, and I will put all of their contact information in the comments as well. And if you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out to Lakeview Insurance and talk to Rob and some of the great staff here.
Thank you.